Welcome to the Village of Buchanan, March 24th, 2026 workshop meeting. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so with us today on Zoom, we have Richard Comey. Just an update for the residents. There is a cell tower that we're working on having installed behind the baseball field at the bottom of First Street. And Mr. Comey has some information, some updates for us. Mr. Comey?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the board. Let me start off with giving you a present status on the facility that's going to be provided. Okay. The NEPA and phase one have been ordered by the tower company, Hemphill. They're aiming to file their zoning in mid to late April, with the BP forecasted to be issued in July and construction to start in August. That is the tentative latest information on where we stand with the facility.
Mr. Comey, before you continue, just to update the board that they actually did a site visit today. So they are moving forward to look in the site as well. So it is moving forward. So I want to let the board know that at least they're actually looked at the site. This seems to be really okay. And if we get further along, we'll also get a site map. When Verizon actually signs the lease agreement, we'll actually set a site map to see what area is covered as well. Is that correct, Mr. Comey?
Yes, that comes in with the application that, as I said, should be in sometime in the month of April.
Any questions regarding the timeline?
Nope.
No.
Sounds good.
Okay.
When is the April zoning board?
The April. Hold
I
on.
think it was canceled, wasn't it?
Yeah, the April was canceled. Yeah.
Okay, so then they're not going to submit.
If we have to, we can actually call, it was canceled, we have nothing on the agenda.
Mhm.
So we can actually pick a different date to do it. If they're moving forward, we can actually planning board members if they want to have a meeting.
Zoning board.
No, the planning boards.
Going.
He said zoning, really planning board.
Okay.
It's really planning board.
Okay.
It's planning board. Mm-hmm. Well, that goes to the special permit.
Third Thursday?
Okay, Mr. Comey, you go to the next topic.
Let me continue with the application information in terms of pricing. To get Verizon to buy in on an immediate basis as the anchor tenant, the tower company, Hemphill, came back through me and said they need to offer a discount of $400 a month to incentive Verizon to become the anchor tenant. That has occurred and that has gotten Verizon involved. I have presently sent in, and I believe you all have, a copy of a rent schedule, because in essence, when I discussed and negotiated this with John Hemphill, I said, John, that's fine, but you got to make the village whole for the discount amount that you're offering. And he agreed to do that within at least the first 3 years. It will happen sooner than 3 years when a second tenant comes on board. So this monthly rent schedule is for 36 months. However, it may not go anywhere near that if a second tenant comes on board. But at the time a second tenant comes on board, or at the end of 36 years, the monthly,
36 months, 36 months.
I'm sorry, 36 months, the make whole amount will be paid in full to the village. And from that time on, the pricing will revert back to that which was in the original signed lease. Now I can go through these numbers or do whatever you want to whatever degree. But that is what this rent schedule shows. I've gone over it myself with John Hemphill, with Marcus, and the numbers on here make sense and are accurate to the best of my knowledge. Questions?
So it is the rent schedule. Could you put that out?
Can you read the amounts for the board? I think I have a copy. I might be able to share the screen too. Hold on a second. Hold on, I might be able to get it. Hold on a second. Here it goes. So I'll make that bigger. Hey, Rich,
That's it.
you can see it, right?
Yes, that's it.
There you go.
I can't see the numbers.
Oh, you can't see him? Okay, then make him bigger. I'm sorry.
That's better.
Is that better?
That's much better.
All right.
Thank you.
There you go, Richard. Go through the numbers so the board and the public can understand what's going on.
Okay, what we've got here on this document is 36 months of the discounted price as it shows in column H, the $400 discount. At an annual interest rate of 5%, which is item I, the make whole amount is in item K. So, for example, if at the end of, and I'm just picking a time frame, if you went down to the 18 months, at the end of 12 months, in the 13th month, you see an escalation of 2.7% with the original rent and the amended rent, and you see a different make whole amount. If a second carrier came on at the 18th month, the monthly make whole amounts from 18 to 1, all of those amounts would be paid to the village by Hemphill. That would make you whole at the 18-month time to agree with the original base rent, and it's paid at an interest of 5% a year. So there is some interest over the time frame that's occurring. If, however, a second carrier doesn't come on and we get down to 36 months, which, as you can see, has a second escalation in the 25th month, and you get down to the 36 months, regardless of whether there is a second carrier or not, at that time, the monthly totals as paid in the make whole amount will be paid to the village. From that time on, the original base rent, which is in column D, will be the rent that will be paid for Verizon and the first carrier. Questions?
That's great.
Did I confuse everybody?
No, it's right there.
Yeah. And the good news about here, that even the discounted rate, we're getting interest, on 5% interest on that as well. So actually we get a little bit more than made whole because we're looking at
Yes.
present value of the dollar. So I think it's a very good deal for the village. We're made whole and we actually get a little interest on top of that.
And the only reason this done was to move Verizon along early this year to commit to do this. So as you know, this is something that is needed for emergency services and for regular service and everything else. We're doing everything we could to move it along. But when they came back and told me they wanted to discount $400, I said, you can do that, but you got to make the village whole, and there should be an annual increase in terms of doing that. And that has been agreed to. And in essence, that takes me into the next thing, which is the second amendment to the land and lease option. And that second amendment says in that amendment, which needs to be approved, exactly what I've just told you concerning the rent money, the payback, and making the village whole. Questions?
Thank you for going over the pay schedule. And Marcus, if you could forward that to the board too.
I did, a couple days ago.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh, I missed that. Okay, but thank you.
Mhm.
But I'm glad he went through that again.
absolutely.
Perfect. This way the
The
you know,
public sees
public
everything.
knows
Yep.
too what's
Mhm.
going on. Okay, good. No questions on that?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, now the code revision, Richard, talk about the code revision you're recommending.
Yes, there is a recommendation, because I was put together a request to make revisions in the code for the village. There are really 4 sections that I have reviewed and believe they need to be revised.
Richard,
Have
I'll
you-
put it up on the screen so the public and the village board can see it at the same time.
Right, there it is, right. The first section, 21166A12, states exactly what it says here in white. That's what's presently in the code. What I'm recommending is that you take that out and you put in place of it that the wireless facility be constructed in accordance with industry standard TIA 222I or more recent adopted standard. Right now in New York State, the standard is 222I. But every couple or 3 years, the wireless industry updates that, and that's the reason for having in here or more recent adopted standard, so that your code doesn't get outdated the minute New York State adopts. It'll be 222J.
Richard, if I can interrupt real quick, just for the public and board, the village code section was written in 1997. So it's a very old code. So what Richard is recommending is bringing our code up to date with current federal and state standards. So that's the change you're seeing right now. And it is something that other municipalities have approved as well. So nothing out of the ordinary, is bringing our code up to date. I'll let Richard continue, but that's the main reason why we're doing this.
I just want to make sure I'm following. So
I'll bring the mic closer, sir.
the portion that he's recommending we replace in is the one
In
highlighted
yellow.
in yellow
Correct.
and take out the.
That's
other one.
correct.
Okay, I
That's
just want to
correct.
make sure I understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Comey, would you also add in there current New York State laws and building code in that section?
No, it doesn't go under the New York State Building Code.
Okay.
According to the New York State Building Code, they refer to the TIA, EIA for any freestanding tower. So it comes under the TIA, not under the New York State Building Code. And that's part of the reason, or one of the reasons why your building inspector that deals all the time with the New York State Building Code does not deal with the TIA on a regular basis, and it's a whole different set of design criteria.
Mhm.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, the next three sections here, section 15, 29, and 66E, going through those in terms of what is or has changed from 1997 to now, I would simply recommend that those three sections be removed from your code as they are no longer needed or applicable. Right? If you'd like to go through each one, I can do that. But all three of those are no longer in terms of what is being done in the wireless industry today. Also on this document, I've added a couple of things relevant to the Hemphill Verizon project. And section 17, we're recommending that they request a waiver stating that construction will conform with all current laws of the state of New York in terms of any codes, for instance, the ground equipment or whatever. The second one of 30, we're recommending again they submit a waiver request, and by the way, they will be doing this. This section recommend that there are no current towers and there is no other preferred location within the village. So both of those items, Hemphill Corporation will be requesting relief, and we will be recommending it. The next item for several sections, this site is a village recommended site and will so state in the application to cover all of those sections. One additional item, and the tower company, Hemphill Corporation, has agreed to it. We will be recommending that the applicant submit a removal bond in the sum of $75,000. And people have said to me, well, it won't take $75,000 to take it down today. But the $75,000 covers the first carrier and the tower itself when it is no longer necessary. Could be 25 years from now, and it has been determined, and we've looked at it, that the sum of $75,000 is applicable. And by the way, just for your information, generally speaking, a $75,000 removal bond costs the tower company 1% or less a year. So it is not a major expense for him to do. And we have requested that and seen it in all of the cases where we've had new facilities constructed. And that's all of the changes that I saw necessary in the code.
I just have a question. The applicant submit a waiver request. So the request goes to who?
Planning board.
The planning board? Okay.
No one, it'll come in the application.
Okay,
We will recommend the waiver, and it is simply part of the application process. And when the permit is granted, assuming it is, the waiver is automatically granted. There is nothing it has to go, no one it has to go to.
because this is our first cell tower, so, I was just.
Yes, ma'am, and I will be happy to walk anyone through this and answer the questions. By the way, we work for you. We nowhere in the country do we or any of our consultants work for any carrier or any tower company. So just don't get any feeling that we do everything working for the village to protect the village in terms of doing this. And we've done it since 1997.
Thank you. Anybody have any other questions?
Not having the village attorney here, has she had a chance to review this? And will she be providing the board with any recommendations?
Yes,
Is there any actions for the board to be taken?
Not tonight, no. Stephanie has a copy of this code, but she's going to write it's just going to go to public hearing.
Mhm.
So she has this in hand. I don't think I have any concerns because Richard and his company is professionals on this. So I think she's okay with this. But again, as part of the public hearing, we have that discussion.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Comey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming tonight.
Right. Thank you. Have a good meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
folks.
Bye-bye.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Is George on Zoom?
No.
Okay, so we're not going to have a discussion amending the cross connection.
No, I can give you a quick
Okay.
update. Yeah, George and I have been talking about this. George was reviewing our code. He reviews the code, and part of the discussion with another municipality, they had a problem with a well. Even though they had a water system, someone wanted to install a well in another community. So the other community had an issue regarding protect because you don't know what contaminants are in wells, as we all might know. So George said to protect the village, he wants to change the code to eliminate. And if you have a well already, well, I don't think anybody has a well, that can maintain, but no additional new wells can be installed in this. And so it's a simple change to the code. Stephanie has a copy of this as well. It's just to say that no wells will be allowed anywhere within the boundaries of the village, especially if we have a water system already. There's no reason to put that in. So, and hope he had a public hearing asking the questions, but that's the gist of it. It's not, I don't think it's a big deal. It's just to bring code. Same thing with the tower, bring our code up to date to match what the new requirements are.
Yeah, when I first read that, I said, do we still have wells here?
I don't think we do.
I
Yeah.
don't think so, but
Right.
I know, because then I read about the backflow preventer, if there is one, that they might have to have that, but since we don't have wells,
Correct.
this is fine,
Yep.
updating the code, good.
Yep, that's what that is.
Okay, so the next is the budget presentation.
All right, great. Thank you so much. So I'm going to put on my PowerPoint presentation. Hopefully everybody can be a little patient with me as I put this up. All right, so as we start, first of all, thank the board and the department heads and the public for their patience with me as we go through this together. I take this very seriously. There's the most one important responsibilities I have as the village administrator for the village. I take this very seriously because I consider this as it was my tax dollars at work as well, and to protect the interests of the village residents to make sure as well that they have all the services they require and keep the tax rate as low as possible as we go through this process. So I'd like to do a PowerPoint presentation first to show us how we got to where we are right now, give the public and the board some history of how we got here. I also promised I was trying to get to a detailed budget message to give people historical reference to where we are now and also follow what we've done in the past. So I'll go through that as well. And then I got a detailed budget showing every single line item, how the money was expended. So we start off. The first thing I want to say is I like the current because I'm very happy to report that the proposed tax rate increase is 1.02% increase. That's the lowest in 11 years, but the second lowest in 24 years. And again, I try to create a conservative budget, but a realistic budget at the same time. I want to make sure that I feel comfortable with this number. I don't throw numbers out there just for the sake of trying to keep taxes low. I want to make sure the tax is low as possible, but meet our obligations at the same time. So this page just gives you a summary of where we are right now. If you read through this, you'll talk about an increase of $30.74 for a year or $2.56 for the month. The biggest impact for this year was really the AMS development. I know certain people feel a certain way about it. I'm just talking about the numbers, just the numbers. If it wasn't for the AMS project, I would have been looking at a 4.78% increase versus a 1.02% increase, just to let the public know what it is. We had an increase of expenses, mainly due to
That's pretty
employee benefits, and I can go through that detail as well. And the revenues stayed pretty stagnant. We want to increase revenue by 16,000. Now I went through every single line item. I went through every expenditure line. So overall, revenues remained stagnant. The assessment went up a little bit. And then we also had a decrease in the cessation fund. Everybody knows, no surprise, that the cessation fund is going to keep on decreasing over the next couple of years. So this is what I like to show here is the taxable assessed value. As I said, just to give you some reference to that. If the assessment value goes up, that means taxes go down. If the assessment goes down, taxes have to go up. So even though all the expenditures remain the same, this is almost an uncontrollable number, because if we have certiorari's or grievances and the assessment goes down, I have to raise taxes just to stay status quo and to stay the same amount that we have to do. So, and the issue we have to face in the couple of years is tax certiorari's, and I'll explain that as well as we go on to the next presentation. This shows you the percentage of tax rate increases, as you can see. Thank God I wasn't here when we back in 2006 and 2007 with 100% increases. Residents who've been here back then know what happened. I don't know, it was before my time, but that was a gigantic.
Exactly what happened. That was when Entergy bought Unit 3, and they made some type of an agreement, and that's what all happened. That's when Entergy came on board.
Oh, okay.
And that was, a huge hit
It
for
was-
the village.
Yep. So thank God we're not in those numbers anymore. We had an increase in 21, 22. Everybody knows that's the easy one. That's when the Indian Point shut down. And then we had an issue with the Holtec and getting pilot arrangements, but we've been going down constantly, which is good. But we have the station fund going away in a couple more years. And then also I'm concerned about some tax search, so we can go over that as well. So this just gives you an overall what the change in appropriations were. Just the major numbers. When you look at my budget message, I could try to go even more detail. Anything over $5,000, both either positive or negative. In my budget message, I got more details to that. Again, I want to be as transparent as possible for the public. I like flow charts and presentations, but sometimes people like to read what the budget means. So I try to put that in words as well so people understand what's going on. So these are what the major, what I say, increases in expenses. One item I want to talk about is the police department. I see you see a $41,000 increase, mainly because of that, because don't forget, we didn't have a contract for a couple of years. So we had to catch up on that. So I don't want people to think that we gave substantial salary increases. It was that we had to do retro pay and catch them up for a couple of years. So it was a fair PBA agreement, but we had to then make up those years in retro pay. So that's the reason for that increase. Just to give you up there too, the increase in insurance, mainly due to claims experience. The board knows we got a potential lawsuit with a police officer. And that's ongoing issue that we have going on. So that was the big increase. That was the $52,000 increase. I increased contingency by $50,000, but we do have potential retirement of a police officer in this coming year. So we have to pay that out as well. That doesn't cover the full amount, and I really don't want to talk about the amount might be, but at least that helps us offset that cost, just to let the public know what that is about. Retirement, of course, went up. The police retirement went up a little higher because police officers retired at a much younger age. We had a decrease in workers' comp, which is good. Again, it's based on experience. The workers' comp cases went down. We, as a board, know we had a couple of individuals who were without a workers' comp, but everybody's back to work now. So that helped us with the experience. And then medical insurance. Everybody's medical insurance always goes up.
So
Yes.
what are we paying for, does Cindy know the single, like a single person, and then also family plan for the medical?
Okay, Cindy, go ahead.
Find it. It's coming.
That's okay.
Moving up. Okay, an individual is $1,611 a month and a family is $36.63 a month.
Okay.
Thank you.
What was the single again? I'm sorry.
$1,611.
1611. Thank you.
So Marcus, one question on the insurance. So that increase is due specifically just due to the experience modification on
Yes,
on the loss.
that's correct. And and due to the ongoing claim that's still ongoing,
Yeah, because it's open.
it's still open and it looks like it's going to go to trial. So the insurance company is very concerned about that. The next item is, this is going to be confusing to some individuals, but I try to, in general government, they break up the budget expenditures by these functions. But just to give some people some background, general government support includes items like, I got a list so people can know what they are. The mayor and board of trustees, the court, the village hall staff, the assessment, the engineer, legal, village hall, the mechanic garage, telephone, internet, insurances, contingency. That is general government support. That makes up 18% of the budget. Public safety, police, fire, and the building department is public safety. Transportation, that would be DPW administration, the highway staff, snow removal, street lighting, culture and recreation. Most people know what that is, but just give some information. That includes all the village parks, the summer camp, the pool, and the senior citizen programs. Home and community, that's the wastewater treatment plant. That's the biggest portion of that aspect. Stormwater sanitation, and of course, benefits is benefits. And at least that way, to give you some people background what those categories stand for. The next one is by appropriation group. So this breaks up by personal services, benefits, debt service contractual. And then also a lot of people, like one of the meetings before we've had, people were wondering, what items could we cut out of the budget? And the problem is that, as you can see, between benefits and personal services, that's like 72% of the overall budget. Contractual, is a hard number to calculate, but contractual includes the engineer, probably he's a consultant, the mailing of the newsletters, salt for the snow plowing, chemicals for the pool, repairs for the building or the vehicles, electric, gas, fuel, cybersecurity, uniform supplies, maintenance of all the software, for the fire department contract, chemicals for the wastewater treatment plant, sludge removal for the treatment plant, dumping fee, all the garbage that we collect, we pay for the dumping of that material as well, street sweeping, the LoSAP program for the fire department, the senior trips, the summer camp. So that's what's in the contractual aspect of it. And like I said, you'll be able to look through our budget, every single line item, you see the historical trends. So you can see I tried to reduce those expenses as much as possible, but we have to meet our obligations. So that's how we got to those numbers. Next, I try to break up public safety, the most expensive part of the budget, or the most weighing on the village. So police, fire, and building. So you can see exactly how those expenditures are spent on public safety.
Marcus, one question.
Of course.
In the overall group, what's included in contractual?
What other items are included in contractual?
Mhm.
Those,
Is that just engineering?
no,
You just went through all that.
no, contractual is engineering, recording the board meetings,
Okay.
newsletters, everything I just read before, that's all considered contractual.
What about sludge removal from the
Sludge
plant?
removal is in there.
Okay.
Yep. And all the chemicals for the pool, the chemicals for the wastewater treatment plant is in contractual. Those are the big items. Of course, repairs to buildings, repairs to vehicles, that's including contractual.
Just want a clarification.
Yep, no problem. The electricity, gas for the vehicles, that's all contractual. The bullets for the police department, the armor they wear, all that's contractual. So let's give you an idea of what all that comes from.
Thank you.
And you'll have
Okay.
a breakdown of what all those items are.
Correct.
Right.
That's in the budget. Correct. Yep. Yep. Okay, so within the police department, again, just so, again, we talk about how could we reduce expenses. I know people are concerned about that, but look at the police department. Between salaries and benefits, you'll talk about 96% is salary and benefits. So again, we talk about how can we reduce expenses. Again, I just want to make the public know, I try the best I can, but there's a lot of things out of our control in order to reduce expenses. So I want to give you a perfect analysis, but we provide services, we do not provide goods. And the services that the residents are used to means people, and that's where their expense is coming from. The wastewater treatment plant, it's a great benefit that the village has. And just to give an example of this too, that more heavily on contractual side, because that a lot of electricity, that plant is working 24 hours, 7 days a week to run all the motors that if anybody goes to the sewer treatment plant, we got the gigantic motors running 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days. The electricity is very heavy lift there, plus all the chemicals that we have to run in there. So you can see that's the opposite of the police department. It's actually cost more or very equal to the chemicals, to the benefits we're providing in that department. And again, it's a great benefit that we have a wastewater treatment plant that we can control at the same time. So I just wanted the public to know, again, it's very hard to reduce expenses when you have to provide these services. Medical, we talked about what the medical insurance goes up to. So you can see it flattened out for a couple of years back in 18, 19, 20, went down a little bit in one time. Now it's going back up again. So, and again, the 26, 27 is my estimate, because don't forget, the medical insurance premiums are based on a calendar year. We're on a fiscal year. So I haven't anticipated a possible increase for 6 months. We have 5 months. We have anticipated an increase for the new year. So I'm always looking at about a 10% increase. Sometimes we hit low, something is higher. And so again, it's a guess. Let me go back. Let me go back again. Retirement contributions. The biggest hit on this one is the police department. We had a big increase again. Again, it's based on what they invest the money on. So that's a number that keeps on continuing. It was flat for a while, but was when they changed the tiers, and they changed that people had to pay a longer term. But of course, I think as people keep on getting high and retired, the cost keeps on increasing. So it's going up. And I don't know if you've been watching the news lately, there's a lot of push from the unions, especially the police, to go back to where it used to be, that, you can retire much earlier, you can stop contribution. If that happens, that number will probably double if they approve that. So there's a big union push to change the benefit structure. So that's something we have to watch in the next couple of years. So this just gives you the overall of the tentative revenue changes. The summer camp, based on the history, I'm going up a little bit based on the history for the last couple of years. The good news is that we did increase the summer camp revenue. We increased the wastewater service fee that we get from the school district and Holtec. They pay a good fee on that, so that's when it went up. Interest earnings are still good. Cindy is doing a great job trying to move money around to get as much interest as possible. And that actually helps us reduce the taxes. And then the biggest decrease was the cessation fund. No surprise there. This is an interesting chart. This is the major revenues. As we know, the pilot was a big number over the last couple of years. Infrastructure, Holtec used to give us infrastructure as well, but that has gone away. The sales tax it's an okay number. State aid is almost non-existent. The mortgage tax is okay. So between the pilot stabilization fund, the infrastructure stabilization fund was all coming from Holtec, and you can see that number decreasing over the years. 25 and 26, it stays pretty level, but then after that, it starts dropping. I'm just looking at the current budget. My next chart will show you what's going to happen in the future. So this shows you the pilot cessation fund over the last couple of years. So we're looking at this fiscal year, but you see for the next 2 fiscal years, we'll stay pretty at the 1.6 million, and then 30 and 31 we have to negotiate a new pilot. Hopefully we stay at the same number, and that would be good. That's unknown. We have to start negotiating hopefully in the next 2 years with Holtec if nothing happens to get that money back in. Or that will be a substantial decrease to the village. Next is people want to know what the taxes, how the taxes would affect people. So I'd like to try to look at an average tax bill. So we always spend around 29 to 31%. If you look at my budget message for the last couple of years, again, this is our tentative increase for June. For the town and the schools, the current taxes, and we know it's probably going to go up next year. So at least you compare that. We're at 31% as it is right now. I don't know what's going to happen when the school does their budget. We might go down to 29%, depending on what the school increase was. So for that, for average $693 for village taxes, where you get sewer, you get garbage collection, you get all your service, police, fire. I think it's a pretty good deal for that amount of money for average taxpayer. And this actually gives you, again, just the straight dollar amounts for every single taxpayer or average taxpayer.
Yeah, so just to reiterate,
Yes.
you did a great job of explaining, but just for the public out there, so when you receive your tax bill, 31% of that is attributed to the village of Buchanan.
That's correct.
The rest of it, we have absolutely no
No
control
control.
over. So it's 31% on average
Correct.
of your total tax bill.
That's correct.
I want to make sure.
I appreciate that. I try to explain that to people too, because I know people say, I pay so much in taxes, when you come, and I've done it in my whole career. They come to a city, to a town or a village, and they say, I'm paying so much. I say, please look at the section of the taxes that you're paying for and look at all the services you receive at the same time.
Definitely.
So there's my sum.
And always
Yeah.
the biggest bite is the school.
It's school,
Always.
absolutely.
And they're
nobody-
looking.
Anywhere in
they're looking at-
Westchester.
They're looking at 8.3.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So
so
if they,
people know.
so if they go to 8.3, our percentage might go to 29, 28%. So I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying overall, it's a good benefit that the village resident have for this amount. There's just my summary page, just to show you overall what the average taxpayer is going to pay compared to last fiscal year. And that's my budget presentation. And I want to take any questions. And I do want to talk about my budget message for a minute, but maybe I want to go through this presentation first and answer any questions from the board, if you like.
It's a lot of information to digest.
Yes.
Right? But something did catch my eye on the taxable assessed valuation.
Yes.
I noticed that in 2013, there was a rise, and then by 2016, 2017, there was a huge dip.
That's a good question, because I actually looked at that myself, and I sat down with Cindy today. It's funny about that. There was a big dip, and thank God Cindy has the information, because before I started, there was no budget message. There was no information. So Cindy went through the records and found out that was the special franchises, Con Edison, Verizon. They pay on the infrastructure throughout the communities. And those years, there was a substantial decrease. And we have no control. That's set by the state. The state sends us a number, and that's the number we have to plug in the assessment row. And it's based on, all the telephone poles.
Okay.
So after what they do, they depreciate over time. So they're up because they depreciate an asset.
Correct.
So what happens is they provide the state information on their poles, and the state then calculates a new special franchise calculation, and they give it to us, and we have no choice but to accept that. And by that going down, taxes have to go up.
Okay. Got it.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. And
Can you discuss a little bit about the tax cert?
sure, yeah. So in fact, it's in my budget message. So
Oh,
I can get to that if you don't mind.
there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay. In my budget, which actually will be on the website tomorrow morning, so people can read it exactly. So you're going to see my presentation, my budget message, and detailed budget. So what I try to do here is just show you in the budget message some highlights. So there's just some highlights for general purposes, but as you can see, like I said, this was the second lowest tax rate increase in a very long time. It was mainly due to the AMS development. I actually have a little page showing you what the cessation fund looks like, a little table so the public can see. You can see it on the screen, hopefully. So you can see what they actually, so yes, you can see 27, 28, we're going to see another $116,000 decrease, 28, 29, and then $232,000 decrease. So that's what the public knows for the future. I like to also, it's good to have numbers for the future so you can predict how you want to deal with that. So then we'll go. So that's general information, the way I broke in my budget. AMS was 95% of the increase because everything else was very, very low. We have no other increase in assessment. In fact, we had to decrease as a review with the grievance board. There was some decreases based on people filing claims. So that was decreased, but overall, at least we had an increase overall.
Claims were filed this year. 40 people, I think.
40.
I wanna say.
It was a company that went out.
Yeah.
One of those companies that send mass mailers out and say, oh, you don't lose anything. And then we have to deal with 40 people coming, 40 applications coming in.
I'm sorry, but the AMS project, that hasn't been fully assessed until.
Correct. We have one more year. We have one more year coming in. Exactly right. Good point. So for the public who's here too, we have a public hearing on April 8th. And at that point, the village board, we can discuss it. The village board can adopt the budget at that meeting or wait for the workshop for the next meeting. Again, it's a board decision depending on how many questions come up. So tax surcharge. So we have a number on them. So I have a page.
Tell me what page you're on.
Okay, so I'm on page, if you go to page 3 of the budget message, on the assessment row.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have Buchanan Engine Company. We have Buchanan Trees, AAA, and we have Certainteed, sheetrock plant. That's the biggest one, just to let you guys know. Right now, Certainteed is paying $200,000. Their requested is to go down to $79,000.
Whoa.
Now, again, that's what they're asking for. We have to go to court and proceed and stuff like that. So when I started here, Certainteed got a reduction. When I first started here, they got an $85,000 decrease in assessment that year. And $85,000. I forgot what the assessment change was, but in dollars was $85,000. So I don't know what the court might say. It might take a couple of years to do it, but that's something we have special counsel reviewing that as well. But that's the biggest number. The other ones, I don't think it'll be a big deal, but that might be the biggest number on the tax certs. So again, I try to give the information to the public as much as possible. I try to bring up the appropriations so you can see here. And this is more my detail. This shows you every single increase or decrease in expenditures over $5,000. That gives you a little cheat sheet versus having to go through the entire budget so people can see and try to explain why those differences happened. So I can go through real quick. I want to go through this so you can see. It's a number of them that we went through it. And then I try to give you a summary of what last year's was, this year's was, so you can see what the total changes were. I explained the revenues, how we get to the revenue numbers that we have right now. I was talking about the cessation fund for taxable value is going to go down again, and so everybody knows that. Again, I like to point that out so nobody gets be surprised. I showed also any $5,000 decrease or increase in revenues, so the public can look at that as well. Give you a little summary of how we got where we are, how we got to the tax rate. Even though I got the summary page, I put in words how we got to that as well. Talk about the tax cap. I think this year might be the first year we can meet the tax cap, even though we did the waiver. But I like doing the waiver because we don't know what we're going to be. So the good news, we're going to meet the tax cap, but it really doesn't matter to me. I just want to bring the taxes as low as possible. Then we talk about, now I'll talk about potential risk in the future. We got the retirement got to worry about. The AMS project was good, but we have one more year. But then we got concerned about the grievances that might be coming up, or the tax certs. We got to worry about that in the future as well. Again, I try to explain what the pilot change is going to be over the next couple of years. The biggest is 2829 of $232,000. Capital projects, as we know, we got the wading pool. As we know, we got the pavilion. We got the main pool. We got the old tennis courts. So there's a couple capital projects we have to do. The good news, I'm not recommending any changes in the water rates. The water rates are going very well. Revenue's coming in good. So the change we did the last couple of years in creating a sliding scale for rates and separate the residential from commercial, it actually helps the residents a little bit because the commercial use a lot more water, and that helps subsidize the residential, which I think is fair for the residential. So I'm not recommending any changes to the water rates. Debt service remain pretty flat. And in summary, again, we got the cessation fund. We got to be worried about any increase in the tax rate due to that loss of it. I want to thank Cindy, Sharon, I highlighted. I want to thank Cindy, Sharon, and Dominic, and everybody, and all the department staff, because we went, a budget, it takes months of work to get where we are. A lot of my weekends to try to go through everything, make sure I hit everything that we need to worry about. And a special thanks to the village board and the public for their support on this. And hopefully, everybody understand, I'll try the best I can to keep the taxes as low as possible. So you'll see all this on the website tomorrow, and we'll have a public hearing. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, please do before the public hearing. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions, because sometimes it's better to have a discussion one-on-one than at a public meeting. I have as much time as you want to talk about anything on the budget. So just wanted to say that. So I thank you for your time and your patience for tonight.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, for the April 7th meeting, for public hearing, call for a public hearing on May 5th. I think we'll be ready to do that for the cell tower. Also a public hearing, to call for a public hearing on May 5th, amending, chapter 195-22, the cross connection control requirements. And then there's the organizational meeting. All right.
Mhm.
And then I just have a few things. So as we all know, our rec supervisor has a family situation. So the Easter egg hunt is going to be this Saturday, March 28th at 3 p.m. Anybody on the board that wants to volunteer to help out, I'm thinking an hour and a half before. So it starts at 3. So I'm thinking 1:30 to be there to put out the eggs and get all set up for the kiddies. So anybody that's available.
I already sent you an email saying
Yeah.
I would be available.
So the beautification committee will also be helping. So everybody will pitch in, which is great.
Absolutely.
And also the Easter Bunny is going to be there too. Let's see, some of the questions I had, I didn't know if George was going to be here tonight, but where are we with the parking by the pool? Did George look at that, the potential of parking up at the top?
Yeah, I
for
think,
some of the
yeah,
seniors?
that's been a while. Yeah, I think he was working some price proposals on that. Let me check on that.
Okay. And also, where are we with the pavilion?
The peer engineer has reviewed the numbers, but he's waiting for, they actually took a piece of steel for testing. So that went to the testing company right now, waiting for those results, so he can finish his model and provide something to the village. I'm hoping it'll be by the April 24th meeting, we should have a result. And then I can have him come to that meeting and express what his results were from his testing. So it'll be April 24th.
You know, 'cause
Or
I
whatever,
know-
they put, is that the 24th workshop? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because we're all concerned about the
If I get
safety of
something-
that,
yeah.
and then,
If I-
camp
Yeah.
and,
If I
Yeah.
get something earlier than that, definitely
Yeah,
email the
please.
board as soon as I get something.
Let
So
it-
we're waiting for that, yes.
Also, the stripper property, the village property, I know I heard back from Awilda. What is the board's direction, what we should do? I know we said that we weren't going to sell it, but, is the board interested in taking down the fence so that the neighbor can use their backyard? You know, I just didn't know where.
If
Yeah.
it makes it accessible for the neighbor and it's their property, why not?
Yep.
Is everybody else okay with that?
Yeah, no problem with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be the same as the Moyers. The Moyers have the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, so the village will take that down. It is the village fence. It was the old school fence, so that is our fence.
Mhm.
And if you could
I'll talk to them.
let them know.
Yep.
You know, what the board's decision was on that. There's also a tentative decommissioning oversight board meeting at Village Hall on Thursday, June 18th. That's penciled in, so anyone that's available, we will also advertise to the residents if they're interested in coming. Also in April is Earth Day. We really haven't talked about this, but I'm thinking if we want to do an Earth Day, maybe clean up at Lens Cove. I don't want anybody on the main roads. You know, it's dangerous on 9A in different places. So Lens Cove would probably be the place. We could plant a tree for the 250th. You know, I'm just throwing out some ideas. Clean up, plant some bulbs. You know, it's up to the board. We can talk on that further because we have Earth Day is actually Wednesday, the 22nd of April. What else do I have? I think that's all I have for this evening. All right. We'll start with Anthony. Anthony, do you have anything?
I just want to thank Marcus for all your hard work with the budget. You did a great job as always.
Thank you.
I mean, you've really put together the numbers that work for us and benefit our people in our community. And you also, you know, from when you started, I mean, you really have gave the village a let's say a cushion, you know, with our fund balance, and you've built it up where we don't have to have a major tax increase. And I want to thank you for that. I know you're ridiculed in some areas, but I think you do a great job. And I think you've always, since I've met you, you've always been honest and loyal to serving the village. And thank you for that.
Thank you.
I will try and make it on Saturday to the egg hunt if I'm not working. I'm sorry. I want to wish my condolences to Jackie for what she's going through. It's terrible. And I'll see if I can make it. I know Wilda was gonna go.
I'm going, you gotta bring on some.
Yeah,
That's my
I do. I also have somebody to bring, so I probably will be there. And that's it. Just again, thank you, Marcus. Wonderful job.
I couldn't have said it better, Marcus. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You always look out for the best interests of the village. And what I like the best of you is that you do not take credit all on your own. You thank your team, and I think that's very valuable.
Without them, I can't do anything.
And I respect that, and thank you.
Thank you.
You know what? I also forgot something. I forgot to congratulate Awilda on her reelection, and Bob, I think Bob is on Zoom, right? He is.
Yes.
Hi, Bob. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep. Are you still in Florida? Are you going to be here for the organizational meeting, April 7th?
Yes, I will be.
Okay, good. All right. That's good. Okay, Steve, what do you have for us this evening?
Well, I just want to start by sending my condolences to Jackie Pasquale and her family. I also want to thank you, Marcus, for your great job with this presentation on the budget, like always, and the way you make yourself available to the public. So please, anybody out there that has any questions, his office is always open. He'll answer your phone call and go over any questions you may have. And last, I just want to thank everybody that came out to the St. Patrick's Day Parade. It feels like it was a lifetime ago, but it was a great event. Dan and I took that on 3 years ago. We have fun doing it every single year. It's a lot of work, a lot of fun. Want to try to keep continuing the tradition, and thank everybody for coming out for a great event. Thank you.
And you know what? I want
Thank you.
to thank you and Dan as well. I forgot to say thank you. You guys did a great job as usual. And I'm certain that everyone in the community appreciates your work. Thank you.
Yes, likewise. I forgot that too. I'm sorry. It does seem like a lifetime ago. But Dan and Steve, you really hit it good, and the party afterwards in the firehouse, the presentations, everything was done wonderfully. And I really want to thank you and the community. You know, we all appreciate what you did.
And I'd like to thank Dan and Steve too. It was a great day for the Village of Buchanan. The residents love the parade, and you know, there's a lot of people that came out, so it's a good event for the village. Dan, what do you have for us?
Just again, kudos to Marcus and the staff on a great presentation and keeping the tax, increase at a minimum. It's greatly appreciated. Just also, again, the St. Pat's Parade, I thought was a huge success, and we're looking to keep the momentum and trying to improve the parade each and every year. This is an event that truly brings out the community and brings the community together. we were told by several people, and not even just village residents, but some of the band members, that this parade this year was actually better than the Peekskill parade. And I could see that. The turnout was fantastic. So, again, thank you.
And also, Marcus, thank you for your budget presentation and your budget.
you.
Looks good. The residents will be happy. It's a very small increase, so considering that the school is going to be an issue, but so that's good.
Keep the residents happy, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Better an
Let's keep
increase
them
than a
happy.
decrease.
Yes, exactly. I got a couple of
Oh,
things. if you
sure,
don't
yeah,
mind.
yeah. Go ahead.
Let's give everybody a couple updates. Annual street sweeping is going to take place on May 12th and 13th for the lower village, May 14th and 15th for the upper village. That'll be the newsletter. Sharon's working on that as well. Again, it's all weather contingent. If anything changes, we'll let everybody know. I know, Dan asked me about the handbook. The Teamsters had no issues with the handbook, but the police had issues, the PBA. So we're waiting for their comments to come back. So we're still working on it, just to make sure everybody knows we're still working on it as well. Village Square, they have actually received all their approvals from the Department of Health and also the DOT. So they actually submitted the information for the site work. George is reviewing the site work as we speak right now. Randall Brothers is going to be the contractor on the project. I think they're a good contractor. They'll be doing all the site work, including the sidewalks, and the sidewalk will continue to where the Dunkin' Donuts is. There'll be a continuous sidewalk from the Dunkin' Donuts all the way to school, which is great for the kids to be walking. So that's hopefully it'll start this spring, this summer, as soon as George can approve the site work. That's what we
It's
need to
good
do.
news, because people are always asking, what's going on with that property,
Right.
so that's good.
Right, so George is actually reviewing that paperwork as we speak right now. Another thing is talking to Randy, the pool house has been not in great shape, so we're actually we do some rehab at the pool house. We're gonna actually do painting. We're actually gonna increase the size of the women's showers from 3 to 2, but make them a bit larger. There'll be a changing room as well for the women as well. So Randy, his team is working on that. They started gutting the bathrooms already. They're gonna do a lot of the work in house. We're actually going to use the epoxy. We're actually going to hire a company to do the epoxy floor. So it'll be a lot cleaner as well. So I think when people start using the pool this year, I think there'll be I think they'll be very pleased of what they see when they're walking to the bathhouse. So I got to thank the DPW staff. Randy's willing to do that work in house, and I'm looking forward to see how that bathroom looks like and how it's going to look.
It needed some upgrade, and then, so the epoxy floors are like phenomenal.
Yes.
It's right now we just have cement, so
Right.
it's kind of hard to keep clean.
Correct.
Good.
And the epoxy floor have a little grit to it, so that way people don't slip on it. So we looked into that too. So I want to thank Randy on that. And I can't wait to see what that bathroom's going to look like. It's going to be hopefully state of the art for us for the first time. So that's the updates I have. Thank you so much.
We'll have to do a big ribbon cutting for the bathrooms.
Yes.
Marcus, on the street sweeping, there should also probably be some kind of a code red or, message on the electronic sign too, that people
Yes.
should try and keep their cars off the street that day.
Yes. Cindy will put something on the screen. She'll put something nice, and I know Sharon will pick a nice little thing to put on the newsletter. Sharon will pick something nice.
Yeah, you definitely want the cars off the road that day. Yep. Good. All right. Any comments from the floor? No? Lot of information today.
Eileen has a note.
She has a note.
I have a note. Yes, I have a note. Congratulations, everybody. Dan, Steve, Wilda. Oh, Anthony, you were so sweet at the St. Patty's Day dinner. Must have been your wife that was there.
It keeps me in check.
I know. I think so too. But it was a great festivity. Thank you, Marcus, for the visual on the budget. That always helps for some people. Figures help for others, but I appreciate it. I just wanted to know, what is a rotor chopper at Certain Teed?
It's for the recycled wallboard.
Okay, so the
So they
Verplank,
recycle it.
They chop it up, the old
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I figured, but I'm just saying Verplank Residents Association is meeting tomorrow night. Rotor Chopper for Certainteed is on the agenda. Wise Development is on the agenda. Upcoming referendum for the future of the Little Red Schoolhouse is on the agenda. And discussion of 310 town meeting in the development plans for surrounding areas and for Plank. Does anybody go to those meetings from here that we should know what's going on?
Occasionally, somebody will go from Buchanan, like a resident will go. I've heard, you know.
Okay, I mean, because do
The
you?
Verplank beautification?
No, Verplank Residents Association, the
Well,
VRA. I went down to the Mount Carmel Society one year.
Yeah.
They were having that and Certainteed presented.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't present to us, but they presented to Verplank. I didn't say who I was,
Mm-hmm.
but
Is that when they had the issue with the dust?
yeah, that's what
when
it
the issue
was.
Because
you know.
mostly affected was Verplank.
Right, but they are our neighbor. They
Mhm.
are part of the town of Cortland. The town of Cortland doesn't necessarily always respect us. So I would just like to know, that we are aware of what they're talking about that may impact us at a certain time and place. So I just bring that up as a thought,
Thank you.
Thank you.
okay?
Anyone else? No? So I'll make a motion to close the meeting. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Have a great Buchanan day. Okay.